Sarah's calling us from Texas. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Hi, Dan. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
I had a question. I recently came into, it's a large amount of money for me. I don't know. I've lived paycheck to paycheck my whole life and was raised that way. My mom did that too. And now I have kind of like this windfall. I know that it's really common for people in my situation to blow through that really quickly. And I am so scared of doing that. And I was just wondering if you had some basic pointers that you could give me, like some first steps that I could take to kind of secure.
How old are you, Sarah?
I'm 28.
Okay. So here's the thing. Well, thank you for calling. I so appreciate to get a young person interested in doing the right thing there. Here's the thing. I would say this to you. If you don't feel as though you're real disciplined and you're concerned about that, then I would do something to probably lock it up for a, particular length of time. Now, depending on how much money it is and your circumstances. So, do you have a family? Do you own a home? You're buying a home, Sarah?
Well, I'm married and I have a daughter and I'm pregnant and we're renting right now.
Okay. So I think a good investment, obviously, would be to use this to purchase a home. This might give you
buy it like straight out.
No, I probably would not, even though you may have the ability to do that. But what I would do is I would put a considerable amount of money down on the home, because if you have the ability to buy it right out, I'm going to assume for a moment that you're going to maintain that ability. What I mean is that if things ever turned uglier and you got in some financial trouble, the balance of the money you would still have available to you to pay the mortgage off if that were necessary. So if your income, if your income looks like it's going to be maintained and it's relatively stable, you should be able to increase your cash flow every month by buying a home with a significant down payment, lowering your monthly payments, and that's going to help you increase some of your cash flow. So that should be good. The rest of the money, again, not knowing how much it is, but I would say the rest of the money you want to keep relatively liquid, but you have to take at least half of the balance and put it into an investment portfolio. And what I would do is I would suggest that you either go to a mutual fund company. The only one I recommend is Timothy, because I don't do mutual funds, but go to a timothyplan.com and open a joint account and put some of it into that and just forget about it. The rest of it I would probably put in the bank in an FDIC insured account, whether it be a 2-year CD or something that is no longer than that, and I would keep it fairly liquid. The investment account part, so let's say you put $50,000 down on a house, you have $50,000 left. I would put $25,000 in an investment account that you can feel as though you can be disciplined enough to forget about. Not look at it, don't worry about it, don't be concerned about it. You've got a lot of time. This is something that you're looking at for many, many years down the road. And if you didn't do like a Timothy plan, I would open up a brokerage account, go to TD Ameritrade, Schwab, or E-Trade, or one of those, open up an account, and I would, select a few good mutual fund, individual stocks, and I would literally forget about it, not look at it again, and maintain the other 25% or 25,000 in or 50% into some sort of cash.
Okay.
So that may sound a little confusing. The only other thing you can do to totally lock it up is put it into something like a charitable gift annuity to receive income when you're 65, and basically use it to buy a pension, to buy a retirement plan where you're going to have money coming in every month. Now, I wouldn't do that with all of it. I would maybe
Yeah.
take 25% of it, and
Well, my
and you can't
husband
touch
wants
it.
to start a business,
Hmm.
and and I know that a lot of people take out loans to start a business, and I figure, I mean, if we have the money, it would be better to use some of it and not take out a loan.
It would be.
Um,
It would be, Sarah. I wouldn't argue that at all. I mean, one of the ways that you help your business to be successful is to stay out of debt. If you can do that, if you have some of this money that you want to use to start a business, and you can do it without that debt, that's going to give you a huge jump start on the business, and that's not necessarily a bad idea. But remember, there's risk with that, of course,
right.
and there's risk of, even though you're out of debt in it, to not be successful because of an economic downturn even further or whatever. So again, but your husband knows the business, whatever business it is, and he'll be able to judge whether he feels it's going to be successful or not. But certainly, there's nothing wrong with that idea. I like the idea of starting a business without any debt. But I
Would
wouldn't
you
want you to use it all.
recommend? Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you recommend that because I want to put some money aside for our children, for my daughter and then the baby I'm going to have. What would you recommend the best way to do that for them is?
I would do it as an individual account under your name. I wouldn't do that in an UGM account, which is a custodial account with your children. I wouldn't even do it in a 529 plan. I would do it by way of a separate account, not an account that you would use on a regular basis. Again, maybe another brokerage account or a mutual fund. Right now, your children sound like they're young. I would, again, maybe go to a mutual fund, a conservative growth fund. Again, Timothy, and put that money in a conservative growth fund. You and your husband know that's their college fund or that's their money, and just leave it in there and forget about it. But I would do it in your name, not in their name.
Okay. Would that? I mean, if something happened to us, would it be difficult for them to access that money?
Yes. Well, you're going to do that by way of the beneficiary on that account.
Mm.
So the
Okay.
beneficiary is going to be in their names, is going to be to your children in equal shares. Of course, your will has to have a guardian for that, of course.
Right.
But yes, that's how you would do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your advice. I feel so overwhelmed, and it's good just to have a place to start.
Well, thank you for that, Sarah, and call back if you need something else. Thank you.
Thank you.